Turn in your student book to pages 74 and 75 for grammar. We're going to have a weekly review of the pronouns I and me. Read with me on the top of page 74. Use I in the subject of a sentence and me in the predicate. Name yourself last when you talk about yourself and others. So here's the correct way. Sarah and I like baby animals. Not correct is if you put yourself first, I and Sarah like baby animals, and if you use the word me and Sarah like baby animals, that's also not correct. Here's another one. This is the correct. The puppy licks Jill and me. These are the not correct ways to write this sentence. The puppy licks me and Jill. Again, you're using your name yourself last. And the puppy licks Jill and I. You're naming yourself last, but this is in the predicate of the sentence, so you need to use the word me. Now look on page 75 of your student book. It says to try this. Write the correct words to finish each sentence. You can use another sheet of paper and read your sentences to your learning adult. So you are going to write a word, or who saw it, Dad and I, or I and Dad saw a piglet. Which would be the right way to say that and to write that? Right, Dad and I. This is the subject of the sentence, so we know we need to use I. And we also know we need to name ourselves last. So Dad and I saw a piglet. Do 2, 3, and 4. You can either write them down or just talk them over with your learning adult at home, but make sure you do this. 2, 3, and 4, you can pause the video and join me when you're done. Grammar in writing. When you proofread your writing, be sure to use the pronouns I and me correctly. Remember to always capitalize I. You never see a lowercase I hanging out all by itself. It's always a capital I. Here, we're going to fix the mistakes in the sentences. Page 107 in your reader's notebook. At the top, it reminds you to use the pronoun I in the subject of a sentence and use me in the predicate of the sentence, and to name yourself last. Here's an example. It says me and Ted see the ducklings. That's not correct. Down here, you'll find the proofreading marks. So you kind of take and make a line and squiggle out to take out a word. You underline it 3 times for a capital letter, and you use a caret to add. So in this case, me and Ted should be Ted and I. So they crossed off and took out me. They added with a caret underneath and wrote Ted. And they did the same thing. They took out the word Ted, made a caret, and added I. See the ducklings. Okay, let's do number 1 together. I and Mark feed the pups. Is that right? Needs to be switched around, right? The I is right, but we can't name ourselves first. That's not right. So we need to squiggle out. My thing is just so thick. I'm not sure how to make it thinner. Okay, and we're going to make a caret. And this is where we're going to write Mark. Okay, I'm just going to make an M. And then we're going to do the same thing to Mark. We're going to loop it out. We're going to caret to add the I. So you would actually write the whole word Mark, but because it's so hard for Miss Kelly to write on the computer, I'll just make an M. So now it would read, Mark and I feed the pups. That sounds much better. All right, using the proofreading marks down here, work on 2, 3, and 4, and make sure to have your learning adult check your work.